don't be confused. Let me explain it again. This one is the main URLs file inside your project folder. Now, before today, we did a lot of things inside it in the last class, so you are going to have plenty things inside. All those things, delete everything. Now, I use that to explain how URLs work, but that's not how we're going to configure the. You have to delete everything. Only this line is going to be left. You can back it up if you want. You can back up that URL file in case you need those things again. But just remove everything or back up that file so you can look at it again later. But the most important thing is that you understand how URLs work, right? From our last class, you understand how a URL works. Okay? So that was the idea of that exercise. But that's not how we are going to. That's not a good way to write your app to become confusing later on. So just remove everything. Let's keep it clean and simple. Alright, so you're gonna once you put this, the name of your app. So this name. So I need to explain the importance of the name. So now you know that you said something here. You said app_name is equal to user app, right? Or whatever name you gave yours, but it has to be, try to let your name correspond to the app. Try to allow those names to correspond. So if I created another app for students, the app_name, I'll just say app_name is equal to students. Do you understand? So in this place, this user app is the app folder .urls. Okay. Now that being said, please pay attention to this other side. Namespace is equal to this user app that you are seeing here. This one is the name that you declared in the URLs file. Do we get? So this one is a folder name, but this one is the name that we declared in the URLs file. This other one, this user, this name. Good. That's the one that we're going to use here. Are we together? So that is settled, right? We're done. So now that you have said that this, what the meaning of this that we did? What does it mean? Part this empty column, what does it mean? So it means that when you launch your app, you know your app is 127.0.0.1. You know that there's nothing at the back of that one. Normally it would have been slash something, but it's only empty space, right? So you are telling the Django that anytime an empty space is passed, that way I'm telling the Django. So the Django sees this empty space and then goes and loads this URL. Now when you load this URL, there's now one more thing. So let's now go into the other file. So I'll show you what you're going to do. So for now, when we get into that URL, we'll create another empty, okay? And then we give it a function, and then we give it a name. We're there. Yeah.
So this user app.
This one?
Yes. So this first one should be.
This one is Django.
No, this user app.
Yeah.
.url.
This is a folder.
Folder.
Yeah.
That one.
But this one is the name inside the other URLs. So this is user app.url. This URL is a file. That's the second file. Good. Inside this URL, there is a name we declared as app_name is equal to user app. Right? So that name is what's going to be here. Okay? So let's go and look at your views first. Do we understand this line? This is the only line you should have in your this thing for now. This is the only line you have. So instead of user index, you can give it a synonymous name, any name that you like, but the function must exist. Then you give it a name, index, or the name of your, any name you like. The most important thing about that line that you just created, part is equal to
together? It's easy. Or is it confusing? It's confusing. No, it's not confusing. Alright. Okay, don't worry, you get the answer now. As at this point, right, you need a function called user index in your views. In your user app views, you need to define this function. So let's do a simple function. So in my views, I'm going to have in my views, okay, you can see what I wrote here, right? So let me explain it before you write. I define a function called user index. I give it a value request. Then I said this data is just basically information that I'm passing into the template. But this is the most important thing. I said return render request. Okay, now in this place, I'm referring to my HTML file. In your own case, it's going to be the index.html of your template, and that should already have been in your template, have it? So in your own case, it's going to be the index.html of your template. The reason why I put user app/index is because in my template, I have a folder called user app where I want to put all the HTML that has to do with user app. When I have another app, maybe user products, I will create another folder called user products and put all the HTML that has to deal with that in there. So I'll be doing all that like that. Okay? But you don't have to do that for now. I'm just organizing my project folder. So in your own case, it's going to be what? Index.html. And then this data, okay, this is a dictionary. Okay? In your own case, it can be empty. It can be empty. Then pass the dictionary here. Okay? And then save your file. Save your file. But have your server started? If not, start your server. Yeah. No more to call user app. Okay. Who else has error? Don't worry, I'll deal with it. Okay. Okay, that's it. That's invalid syntax. Because data is supposed to be equal to dictionary sign. No module name what? Alright, let me go around and check this. Let me just pause this recording. Are we there? So we have CSS, front awesome and images inside our what? Inside our static folder. So here is the cocoa of the matter. To load your CSS, you have to configure your base file like this. Alright? So you see this line at the top, load static. Can you see this line? In your index.html, you need to put this line, load static. In your index.html, you need to put this line, load static. Okay? Once you do that, the next thing you need to do, once you put load static at the top, are we there? To target any resources. Okay? So load static. Is it working now? So you look at it. Are you seeing it? Load static. Say it at the top. This is your index.html. So in order for all your static file to be viewable in your project, you need to put that line. load static at the top. Can we see it? Your index.html. Your index.html.
My system crashed.
Your system crashed. Wow. Sorry.
My system.
So you put that load static. Once you have put that, normally when you want to use resources in your HTML, normal HTML, you will say source or href. For example, if you are using link, the link tag, you will say href is equal to the location of that entity, right? EF. In the case of your link tag, it will be href is equal to that. But in here, you are going to say href is equal to, see this, see the way I loaded it here. I use the static keyword, and then the bracket there has percentage sign. Okay, the bracket has percentage sign. The bracket has percentage sign. So look at it carefully. Look at it carefully. So what do you notice? What do you notice? Yeah. What do you notice? So that's what I'm saying. So I'm trying to engage you. So look at it now. Normally, this is how you will load your resources. Are we there? So href. But because we're loading with a static, this is the keyboard there, static. So it's going to be, look at the difference between them. Percentage, bracket, percentage, then static, then quote. You see the single quote, then the resource that you want to load, then you end the quote. Are we there? End the quote, and then percentage, then closing bracket, then the double quote. You didn't get it? Alright, let's start again. Is it crashing again? It's okay now. Yes, yes. Wait first, hold on. There's one more thing I need to tell you. So I've told you the easy part. Do you know the hard part? Who knows the hard part? Every CSS in your project, this is how you're going to load it. So that means you go to every place in your project where there is CSS being loaded.
So what do you do for it?
If the CSS is embedded with the style tag, then you don't need to use this. You know what that means, right? That means that here you have the CSS up here. Do you understand? So you don't need to link it. But if it is outside, you must link it with the static line. Similarly, okay, your images. So look at the images now. Are you seeing it? Or you want to go? So look at it. See the image. For image, it will be, oh, no.
Sir, my system crashed. I'm just...
Yeah. Have you put it on?
Yes.
You have put it on?
Yeah.
So what we are talking about is your index.html. Yeah. So we're in your index.html now. So every location where you are calling resources, your JavaScript, your link, your CSS, you are going to use it with static. Then your favicon. Do you know what they call favicon? Favorite icon. You will load it like this also. Okay? If you have bootstrap folder, look at my bootstrap folder now, front awesome here. How will I do this in the Django? I'll put percentage, bracket percentage, followed by static. Then this resource will be in quote. Then I'll close it with percentage bracket. Are we together? You get it? don't get it. Shall I go again? Alright, let me be showing you.
We're going to notepad.
So for images, you will do ing src is equal to something like that. So, so you're going to do this. Put space between here. There needs to be space. So you see what it's doing? That way you're going to do like yeah, round yeah, round one. Yeah. Then they structure. Yeah. I understand. Let me see your explanation. So you see that place where it says HREF is equal to bootstrap. Or that they are you're going to change it to what it is. Instead of what it is changing, you first put that quotation mark. No, leave it like that. Then move inside. Where bootstrap is starting from? Bracket. Curly braces. Percentage sign. No space. Space now. Static. Space. Then put the single quote. Single quote. You are going to the end. That's the CSS. After that CSS, put single quote. Space. Space. Percentage. Inclusive braces. Yeah. So that's how you do for all your CSS. Every one of them. Except that last line, HTTP. Except that one. Yes, you don't need it. Yes, you use it for images, yes, you use it for then some of you will have JavaScript. Some of you will have JavaScript down at the end of your HTML file. Right? If you go down, some of you have JavaScript down there. Yes, so you're going to do the same thing. So your JavaScript source will be source is equal to quotation mark, then braces, then percentage. So this is what you're going to do. So these are your resources. You see all these guys, they are your resources. It's expected that they are already inside the static folder. So you put load static at the top, and then here in this place you're going to say like this, shift. Okay.
Look at percentage.
No, curly braces. Shift curly braces, shift percentage. See that? Where's percentage? Shift percentage. Then space, then you type static. Oh, not capital. Capital. There's going to be static, static. Right? Then you put one quote. Like, oh, what is that one quote? Yeah, good. And then we do the same thing here. Put the one quote. One. Where is it? Okay. Space. Then we put the percentage sign. Oh, great. Shift. Oh, sorry. Shift percentage and shift curly braces. So that's how you do it. So you see the syntax. So you're going to do that for everything. That's why I said the first part is easier, is the easy part. So try to check, because don't make mistake. When you the same thing for your images. It's going to be static. Yeah, for the wave icon, the same thing. Yeah, so that's it. Percentage, static. That's good.
For this CSS too.
Everyone.
Every single link in
every single resource.
That is
HREF. Yeah. And images too. You'll put it.
so inside this thing, like I was going line to line.
Yeah.
Go like south. So it's not understand something. So this place now. So this
No. We have not reached that side.
No,
We'll talk about HREF. This one is a link. But this image is going to be source, single braces, percentage sign, space, static, then single quote. Static, space, single quote, then at the back of SVG single quote, then percentage, close the braces, and then put the quote, the double quote. Yes.
So each of the images, this SRC.
So yes, so
what's the point of
let me
this
see.
from there? I don't understand.
Yeah, so there's. So what's the point of what?
Like, I thought after loading it here, then it should like
No.
read it.
You have to do it for every
So I'll go through for the images then.
every image and every resource, even your JS JavaScript. So anyway, you see source. Yeah, you wanted to say something.
I just to ask if they are linking an HTML.
No. Don't deal with those anchor tags. All you have to deal with are the images. Okay, that's the advantage of Visual Studio Code. You can type everything at the same time. Right? So if you are using Visual Studio Code, it should be easier for you. What if you are doing Notepad, you have to go and check online how to do it. Any questions? Any questions?
So even for the plugins that says
Yeah, all the resources. That's how you are going to do it. Then if you have the JS at the root of your file, some of you have at the end of your body tag or down the web page, you see a list there too. But the beautiful thing is you have to do it only once on only one page. You don't have to do it on all the other pages. That's the beautiful thing about it. If you are using the Visual Studio Code, it will be easier for you. You just type in one place and it will reflect in all the others. That's what it's doing. The young chap.
you type one place, I don't understand. Like without header path.
Yeah, and then it will copy, it will be doing it in all the other places that you are typing it. Do you understand?
I'm lost.
Like when you are typing href is equal to percentage and static, you know you are doing it on one line. But in Visual Studio Code, it will help you be doing it in all the other places.
That is related to that.
Yes, so it reduces the job. Notepad++ can do the same thing. I've just not configured mine.
So how will it configure that?
And first update it and then you use the function keys. So any questions? Alright. But the beautiful part is you get to do it only once in this index.html. Because you are going to extend this page using the block code. You create a block in this file, and then you will extend this file to all the other files. Those files will just contain content. This one will contain every other thing you need. So, yeah.
Well, I think the static.
That's the way. You'll be doing it for all the others like that.
Anyway, we see it from proof.
Yeah. So, like, it's cool, no.
We just for the data.
No, everywhere you see link, every link that is bringing anything from outside, not anchor tags now, not your anchor tags that you will click on that will take you to another page. Those ones is a different ballgame. We have not started configuring those ones yet. What we are configuring now is any link to your external CSS or JavaScript or favicon, favorite icon. But you get to do it only once.
So should I do the SRCs?
They are point to images, Abi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just images.
Yeah, you gotta do that.
just for the images.
Yeah, you gotta do that. Start
But
it.
what's it called? The visual studio, this is not doing it for.
Check it out, it's doing it for you.
Who is that?
So you see why it's good to work in a class, because some people will be learning some things from the others.
Image is in here, no? I don't confuse me.
Yeah, you'll be doing it like that for each of the files.
I'll work on.
So, but you get to do it just once.
But you still have to make everything.
So you see that it's easy, right?
Yeah, I thought I understand what you said.
So it's a cool feature. But for me, I would still stay with my notepad, because you guys are doing it.
Yes, sir, we'll be going in the two, don't worry. When one is harder than like now. Yeah. So when I did this one, I was
But well, I finished all this thing you're doing since. There is a different method. This Visual Studio Code, let me show you. Let me show you this one. So if you really want to just do it once like that, you use the search bar, then you find. So when you find, let's assume what I want to find is this guy, href. I'm going to look for href with this value. I'm going to put it here. So it's going to search for all the href like this. If I want to specify the link tags only, I will make sure I pick the href like this and pick the link tag also, because I'm targeting all the link tags. Then I'll put it inside here. So it's going to target all this. They call it find and replace. So I'm going to look for find, so like this now. Replace. Can you see replace? So I'll now say replace it with the same thing, but with this one. So that's how you do it. Once I paste it like that and I say go, it's gonna finish everything. What happened to your laptop? So it's the display, the VGA that has a problem. Oh, it says motherboard. Why don't you change the motherboard? Have you checked the price of the, how much? What kind of laptop is it? Yes? Oh. Wow. I once had an issue like that, but my motherboard was 20 something K.
So what year was that?
Last year. It's still 20 something K. That one that I talked about, like the one, you know that laptops are different. So it's this type Dell, but this Dell, a smaller, lower version. This one is bigger version. You know, you're not buying all the parts, just the board. If you're going to buy a new laptop now, this one is about maybe 90K. So it's not really expensive. So but compare 90K to motherboard of 20 something thousand or 30K worst case scenario. So all you got to do is just buy the board and put it inside. But instead of buying a whole new one of about maybe 90K, 30 from 90, that's 60,000. Anyway, maybe you have enough cash to do that. Nice. Yes, ma'am. Let me see. No, HREF. Not you. It's here. HREF. So, is it loading now? So, once you do that, save your file and reload your page. You should load your CSS now. Once you do that, save and load, and it should do that for you.
Should we do it for the JavaScript?
Yeah, you gotta do it for the JavaScript.
It's saying error.
It's saying error.
Go to that. Dot slash.
Are you trying to run with the BAT file?
Like, normally we're giving the HTML. The linking aspect of this, unit dot slash. You can go back.
No. In your template?
Like,
No. Oh, are you trying to click on the link?
no. I've loaded my.
Yeah, you preloaded yours. Yeah.
Now it's telling me the linking tag is not correct.
Yeah, the link is not correct.
The linking aspect of that is not correct. That's not static.
That's not how can we finish it from template.
Are you sure the folders you are linking exist? Alright, let me see.
Now, put tag, you I tag, A tag, B tag.
For the data, you don't need to.
This bastard put HRO for A tag. I won't do that thing for you. No, man. I don't put tag. Just link. I don't do anything. I don't tag.
What do you want to do?
What do you mean time safe?
Those dots are called relative parts.
Alright,
So someone's template is working. Someone's template is loading already.
Okay.
This guy no put JavaScript.
Let me load my own and then teach you the next part. Someone's template is loading already.
I see not every
Yeah. So how do you your template loading? So how do you configure picture? How do you configure picture? The same way, you now say static, then enclose the resources there.
You didn't know how to do these things.
That means this is where you configure. Now you are configuring your template. Yeah. So you see, you begin to understand why applications developers, why they don't like using external templates. You are beginning to you are beginning to see why they don't go out. You are beginning to see why in my own case I didn't bother to go out.
This is not I will also do this screen. It's not good.
Let me see.
I'll put everything in.
No, let me show you why it's not going. So this is how you get. This is how you know. You right click and you go to view page source. So you see, when you select this, it's not seeing it. Can you see? So you know why it's not seeing it? Because you see the link you put there, static CSS. So in your static folder, static slash CSS. Hold on, something missing there. Let me check what you did. Index HTML. Let me go up. Oh, okay. Let's go straight to the top.
So this is what?
once you do it,
Should I be special?
No, it's okay. If it's not loading, you know.
All those space matters now. It's plenty, don't just find it.
Here's an error. Invalid block.
Because too many places.
No, hold on.
How many things are like again?
Change picture, change the name of the picture. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the work still dey for front end, like, so okay, so how do they zoom out in the notepad? I don't edit for
CSS bootstrap. Let me check if that's
Look at my name. Okay.
bootstrap dot.
Even the one sees it before. Everybody on the
but it doesn't go easy like that.
Maybe just can crash and
People go to Java, why you do that?
the dog that is switching. The dog that is with me. I template is the do. I don't template. This in front end.
Which kind of talk about? They don't really
Don't forget this thing there. Shall control V, copy V. I already copied it. Well, let me take this one. Remove the end already.
Share now. So what I'm telling you now.
All the options.
Column, that's quote.
Is there no end here?
There's just one quote. We need a quote, then we need percentage, shape,
5.
and then the brackets, the closing bracket.
Is it icon? The icon.
Is that good?
Watch it. But the other thing I told you.
I think it's rolling now.
Because I mean, just said, it's not just you add this system, render, here, render system.
Alright, hold on.
After you done that,
Maybe that I'm asking if maybe that's starting something
you
wrong.
It's nothing.
Maybe just I don't think
Alright, you're still recording.
So we have a file, dashboard.html. Let's go inside and look at the content of dashboard.html. So kindly pay attention. The first thing you're going to see in dashboard.html. I know you don't have a laptop, but try to follow what I'm doing. Just be looking at it. It will be recording somewhere in your mind. So when you're doing the real thing, everything will be coming back. So basically, this file is called dashboard.html. The most important thing about this file is this line, extends base file.html. That's the most important thing about this file. Because that means that this file is going to use base.html as its template for rendering. So this is my dashboard. So I'm going to give it a title here called App Dashboard or User Dashboard. User Dashboard. So that's the name of that page. We're not going to give it any CSS or anything of that nature. I just want you to see that important section. Then you're going to see two other sections. So I want to show you those things quickly. Two of those things. Have you virtual envy? You don't need to download another template. Your template is fine. It's not your template that is giving issue. Space AppEnv. You should be inside your project exporter now. So look at this. These are the contents of this file. So the first line extends base file. The second line load static. This is not compulsory, but if you realize that your images are not loaded, you may need to use this again. I've already used it in the base file. Okay, but I'm just using it again here because one or two things. See this block? So I'm going to put the two files beside each other. I want you to see the difference between them. Let's quickly push this out. Let me minimize this. Have you done that? Is it installing? Alright, great. We'll be done in a minute, thereabout. So let me pull it aside. So I want to put the two files beside each other. Let me save. So let's pull this out. Great. So look at the two of them and tell me what is common to both files. It's Queen I'm going to ask. What is common to both files? Just look at the two files and tell me what's common to them and what's the difference between the two of them. What's common to the two files? Yeah, the block. You notice that here you have block page content, end block. You notice here too, end block. So what happens? So with this one now, I'm going to create a link on my app. When I click on my app, when I click on that link, it's going to take me to the dashboard page. I want you to see how I'm going to configure it. It's not a normal HTML process. I have to configure everything. So I'm going to start from here. So from here, in the main, this is the main file that contains the navigation, the footer, and all those things. In your own case, you're going to have a main file too like that. I'm going to say dashboard, and then I'm going to say braces. I want to create a tag. Have you done the virtual env? Has it finished?
Yes, sir.
Is it done?
Yes, sir.
Alright, now that it's done, cd into AppEnv, cd into AppEnv, and then pip install the Django. Cd into it. Then activate it first, and then okay, wait. Pip install the Django first. We'll jump this step. Ctrl C. Ctrl C 2 times. Yeah. Now activate that virtual environment. Then run that pip install. So it can install into.
Is that Ctrl C 2 times?
Yes, it has. Yeah, it has cancelled the process. So here, cd into virtual env, AppEnv, space AppEnv. So are we seeing the way you generate the link? Have you seen it there? Type cd scripts, cd into scripts, and then activate. So we have a href is equal to, now I'm going to show you how to configure a link. Alright, so the first thing we have here is this. The second thing we have here is this. The third thing we have here is this URL. Can we all see this? URL. Okay. The next thing is this. We're going to where? The dashboard. So we're going to say that we want to load user app. Are we there? Colon. Okay. Dashboard.
dashboard, yeah. Alpha.
Why colon?
Have you activated? Script, yeah, type activate.
Why not slash instead of colon?
Okay, that's a good question. It says why not slash instead of, so I'm going to show you why now. Alright, so next, let's close the link and let's see what it looks like. So let's close it here. So once you activate your virtual environment, now pip install the Django. Then when you pip install the Django, pip install pillow also /a. Now this app, this link I created doesn't exist yet, so most likely I should see an error. So I'm going to go into my URLs. See this URL? The other one, where is it? Up to URL files. Where are you, man? User app. Okay, I'll find my URLs. Oh, I've not opened it before. Has it pip installed the Django? So this is how you get to create your link. Let's see it, everybody. This is how you create your link. So the link name is dashboard, right? We're going to just simply quickly say from here, Ctrl V, I'm going to call this dashboard. DASHBOARD. That's the string. And then I'm going to create a function, user dashboard, that is going to handle that. Remember the use of the name dashboard, and then here we're going to also call this dashboard. Once we do that, I'll quickly go into my views, which actually I have to go back here. These views, not this one. Have you done? Is it done? That network, okay. Sorry. My view, yeah. Launch my view, and then create user dashboard. So that's all. Ctrl V, and then we're going to call this file is going to be dashboard, and then the title will be user dashboard. So I'm going to call it user dashboard. That's the default file. Okay, so now that we have this, let me
Also the user index is still the same thing.
oh sorry, that's a good catch. Let's quickly change this
And
to
then,
user dashboard.
is it an HTML? I don't think dashboard is an HTML file.
It is HTML.
It is HTML.
Yeah.
And that means without your URL, you are meant to like go to the other URL.
This one. This one.
Okay.
Or you mean this one, the index?
Where exactly? Let me see where you link for the dashboard.
Okay. This file, this one.
Yes.
Okay, you mean .html? No.
Successfully installed.
All right. Did you install Pillow? Pip install Pillow? No. This is dynamic programming. You don't request the files now. We're dealing with something else now. That dashboard you saw is the same dashboard that passed through the string. This one is this. It's the same thing as
Successfully installed.
Pillow. All right. So we've done the first one. You're going to CD out of your AppEnv. You have to CD out. Then you are now going to say Django dash admin start project X. Yeah. All right, guys. Let's look at this. Can we see? Yeah. I'll put that command in my recording. All the things I'm telling you. So let me do. So I'll pause before I talk again. So let's look at this. This one, this dashboard. Good. This is it.
Okay.
And this user app name.
Okay.
So we're saying app name is.
So that's that URL you put in your code is the app name and
Yes.
the part name.
This. And this is going to run that function. So let me save all these files now. Save. Save. Yeah.
Out of my app area.
CD out. Alright, so let's look at this. Let me refresh. All things being equal, we shouldn't have an error yet. There's an error now. Let's check. So, user dashboard is not defined, but I think it's defined now. Name user dashboard is not defined. Alright, let me go look. So this user
I don't think I'll increase the screen.
user dashboard. Okay, I'm coming. Let me just find user dashboard. Yeah. This is saved. Where did I call this? In the URLs. Not this URL, the other one. This one. User dashboard. What's the spelling? In the views. User. It's the same thing. So let me Ctrl C. Alright, let me refresh and see. So you see this link. What I want you to actually notice is what is here. So if you click on this link, I want you to see the URL at the top. What's it? Dashboard. Alright? But how does it know which dashboard? How does it know? So the way it knows is the user app that is there. That's what it used to know. It used to know that, okay, this link is in the user app. That's how it knows. So this is my dashboard. Okay? So that's how you link your pages. Now, what I actually want you to take home from this is this. Let's finish. What I want you to take home from this conversation is this. What I want you to take home, are we there? Is this. So you will notice that this is the result, right? This is the page. But you will notice that the page actually contains only, the file only contains how many lines? Just this. This is what is here. But this is what is doing. So the only thing changing, let me now show you what's changing. So let's quickly come here and let me put D title. Okay? 1212, and then I'll say D title, DTITLE, because that was what we passed. D title.
and then
Thanks to
so I'm saying you are here. So I can show the text can. So there. So basically, if I needed to create another page, like user management, for example, I'll simply replicate this link, this one. Just reload it and configure that link. But I don't need to reuse my template again. You understand? I already have all my block of code in one place. So all I'll be doing is just small HTML files that will be loading the main file. So the way it works, when you call the page, when you call this content, the Django takes this file and then takes this one, and then this section takes it from this page and put it inside the main one and renders the results. Do you get it? Do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand? So I want to create another page. Let me create.
Sorry.
I want us to go to another page. All right. Question.
Please explain the title. You know, before you.
Yeah, the title is a variable that was created in the views.
Okay.
This is the title.
Yeah.
So I'm passing it to the template like this. So I passed it like this. See data. So this is a dictionary.
Yeah.
I've passed it into this template, and then when it gets into the template, is it done? Yeah. Now let's do the project. When we now get into the template, we extract the value using this. That's how we extract it.
Or you can just write it directly.
Yeah, that would have been okay, but that would be inefficient. Yeah, that would be inefficient. Because, you see this page, the title, right? Alright. Let me create another page called user management. So you see why this is effective. Let's do it to take us about 2 minutes. Copy this, Control copy, place it here, Control V, call this one user dir, press DRS, user management, and then you are here, becomes user management. Yes. CD into project X. Are you there? DIR. So the Django -admin start project X. Alright, here we are. We've done this user management function, right? Management. Then watch what I'm going to do. Let me save this and let's create a link. The link is going to be called let's come over here and let's create a link. Let's just say, instead of dashboard, we'll just say you manage or something, user manage or okay, let's just say user management. Okay. So we'll call it user management. User management, and then I'm gonna just place this one like this. I'll pick this one. So you have to know the value of this name you're seeing, this name that I'm putting here. This is what I'm using to get the link. You get? So this is going to be user management function. User management. Let me quickly go into the views and save it. Let me bring the views here. Then, okay, saved already. Then the URL, user management, let's save. And then, instead of dashboard, see this dashboard? Alright, we'll leave that and come to base file and simply configure the link, user management. Okay, let's close the link. So this will become user management. Okay, so let's go and check our app. I hope everything is sorted. Fresh. Then I want to go to user management. Do you understand? But you will notice that I did not create user management template. I'm still using dashboard.html. But what is inside it is changing because I used variables. So I can just keep using it like that. So the most important thing, so that's the first part.
So literally we don't need if at all we don't need remaining HTML now.
That's why I said you don't need remaining HTML. Do you understand? You don't understand? So I can just have one file and just call it app file. And I'll be using it like that. So that's where application development is now different. Because in that one file, I can now begin to check for stuff. If else, do you get? So let me show you what I mean. This is my dashboard. So I want my app to know that it's a dashboard file. So what happens is that where is the file? Are we done? The Django admin start project. No, start project. That one should be start project. Yes, start project, then the name of the project, project X. So if
There is no recognized XML
dash Django dash admin, the Django dash, not underscore. Yeah, no, DIR. Python manager PY status.
status.
Python manager PY run server.
Can you give any port number? Can you give any port number?
Yeah, you can give it. So, can you configure your settings file? See how many minutes it took you to start it? Just 5 minutes. So, can you configure your settings file? You can't. You have the notes. Who has the note for settings configuration? The settings, the configuration of the the Django setup, the first note I sent you. So just sharp configure your this thing. Import OS. All right, you are logged in as guest. You are logged in as a guest. File structure. No, is the last file I sent to you. That the Django project.
The Django project steps combined.
Yes, that's the file. Alright, what I want you to see is a conditional render. Alright, so let me make it big so you can see it. First of all, I'm going to give this a class. Let me just call it class is equal to text. So we just call it text, and then I'll just take this from here, control copy, and then I'll put this one here. So I want you to see you are logged in as a user, as user, then the username will be there. But what we want to do now is let me just go into my CSS file, which is in my static folder. So this is me editing my CSS. So this is my CSS file. I think site CSS is the appropriate file, and then I'll just create I'll just quickly create a class called text. Just call it font. The color can be brown. Alright, so look at what they call conditional render. That's what I want you to see. So this code that we're seeing, this dashboard.html, there is a condition here. This condition is addressing a user. So in the Django, it is possible for you to know if a user is logged in or not, and based on that condition you can render text. So in my links, in this case, what I did was, if this user is logged in, you are logged in as user something, or if the user is not logged in, it says you are logged in as a guest. Do you understand? So it follows that in my file here, if you refresh, you will see that what is saying here is that you are logged in as a guest. You know why? Because the user saying you are logged in as a guest. The reason why it's saying you are logged in as a guest is because you are not logged in. There is no active login session. So I want to show you what that does here on the links. So I'm going to create a link. The links are going to be login, logout, and register. When the user is logged in, the person will see only the logout button. But if the person is not logged in, he's going to see login and register button. Okay? You get the logic now. Because only someone who is logged in, okay, can log out. So to do that, I'm going to come into the template of the file, which is base file.html. So first of all, why don't we create those links and then we'll now do the necessary changes. So you're going to see them without the if and else block. So this first one is going to be login, and the next one is going to be logout. Sorry, it's going to be sign up, and then the last one is going to be register. Sorry, log out. Log out. Are we there? So basically, let's first look at the interface and see what it looks like. I'm going to minimize it back now. Control minus, 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 minus. So I have the following links. I have login, I have sign up, and I have logout. Okay? So let's do conditional render. Conditional render simply means that if that user is logged in, that means he's already registered on the platform. So show him the logout and the dashboard link. But if that user is not logged in, then we assume the guy is not registered, or he's registered but has not logged in. So we cannot show a dashboard to somebody that is not logged in. So you see the dashboard link at the top. So let's pick up our links and edit it. So let's just, in fact, let's come over here and say the same code that I used here. Can you see it? If this user is authenticated, control copy, we're going to bring it over here. So if the user is what? Authenticated means you are logged in. Alright, so it's going to show logout button, sorry. So that one shouldn't be there, should be here. So it's only when it's logged out you want to see that. And then let's close it. You have to close it with the end if tag. So let's close it with the end if tag. Okay. Secondly, so if this condition is true, show the logout button. So that logout button will only show if this condition is what? True.
Is it like a keyword?
Yeah, this is a keyword in Python. This user dot this is a keyword in Python. Okay? It's a keyword in Python.
It's not really in Python keyword.
Huh?
How do you get keyword in Python?
So you will be learning them as we're using them. There are many. There are plenty. You can't finish learning everything. We'll learn the ones we need, then the ones that as you are moving forward you'll be learning them small. It's not something you can, it's something you know to use. It's not like you have to do 2 times 2 for 2 times no. So let me close this one to here. You want to go home? You want to go home? because we have to finish up what we're doing. So our logout will only show when the user is what? Logged in. Okay? So do you understand? Do you understand this section? So if this person is logged in, you will see a logout button. Okay? How do we do this one? So look at the condition again. If this is true, do this, right? If this is not true, what do you do? So let's get this one out from here. Control X. So if this is not true, come here and you put the else. Else, show these ones. So is it clear? So that's a simple if and else. So look at the logic again. If user is logged in, then show him the logout button. If otherwise, else, that means if he's not logged in, show him login button and sign up button. So similarly, we get to hide the dashboard based on that condition, because there's no point seeing all these things if you are not logged in. So we're going to come here, and of course, you know, if we put the command now, we won't see our dashboard link again, right? So you put that, and then user management is only for people that are logged in too. So you get to do that. Alright, so this is what your app is going to look like at the end of the day. The elements are there, they are just going to be seen when you are logged in. You can only go to the dashboard when you log in. You can only go to user management when you logged in. But you can go and view categories of products. You can go and view products. You shouldn't be able to see any reports if you are not logged in. So let's hide that one too. And yes, one last thing I want to show you. Let's pay attention to this. Let's look at the page source. It's not that we are hiding those links, okay? Let's look at what is in the source code. What exactly do we have in our source code for this file? Okay, let's check out what is in the source code for the file. Okay, so what do we see? What are the first two links? Categories and products. So it's not that we are hiding the elements. The Django is not releasing the elements. You get? So it's not that we are hiding it. The Django won't produce it out. What does that tell you? That means that the entire template is processed by the Django before it shows you anything. It will redraw. That's why we use the function render. It will redraw the page based on the parameters that has been set. So there's no loose element. It won't show you anything that you are not supposed to see if those conditions are not fulfilled. That is one way of using them. So this is how you get to configure your template. So
Can we now work on our templates to the next level?
What to do?
So what's the next level? The next level is that you're going to create your login, your logout, your sign up links in your normal links, okay? Then if your app has a user dashboard area, if any of your apps has a dashboard area, your link should be functional to the dashboard area.
If your app has there are some links that must be functional in your app now. It's not that everything will be hidden, right?
Like in your app, what link will be functional before the person logs in? Or does the person just arrive at the login page? Or
Mine will be very easy.
so when you come to your app, the first thing the person will see is login or logout. Logout or sign up. We'll get to the app. So yeah, so what you're going to do is you're going to activate this link to take the person to the sign up page. Yeah. So your sign up page, you all know you should create your sign up page. You don't need to build many things. Just the form, only the form is going to be in a file. Then you put the blocks, right? Right? Or any questions? Like you have a HTML form inside a file, HTML file, and then you load the main template and then just put down on it. Just the same way we did. Can we all do that? Alright. In your own app, when someone gets to your app, what's the first thing you're going to do? Let me stop the recording.
So the classwork is for you to link a link to a page in your templates. That's the classwork. You link. So I'm trying to. Okay, so.